Welcome back. I am Brad with Undrafted Hockey Fan. I apologize for the delay. It's been a long time. I think it's been like 42 days since my last episode. I apologize. I've been so busy. I got a little surprise for everyone. So if you're on YouTube, you can check it out. I got a little guy that is joining the podcast. This is Devereaux. Devereaux, he is just turned a month a couple days ago. And so he is my precious new boy, little Red Wings fan. He's not wearing his Red Wings material right now because I don't want to wake him up, which honestly picking him up might wake him up as well. But he is our little new Red Wings fan and everything. He'll be watching the game with us tonight. I'm recording this prior to the Ottawa game, by the way. But this is our new Red Wings fan. And by the way, Devereaux was, if you're a true Detroit Red Wings fan, Devereaux was a player for the Detroit Red Wings. And so he played, I think, like 4 or 5 seasons. My wife and I heard the name. I was like, I think that's a Red Wings player name as well. I was correct, and is awesome. So Devereaux, just like the player and everything. So he's our new little hockey fan. So you can say welcome to the fandom. By the way, he picked a great time to be born. Ray's Red Wings are coming out of the rebuild too. He actually baby's first playoffs. He might be alive for the playoffs for a long time. So in 1990, when the Red Wings started going to the playoffs every year, until I was 26, the Red Wings were in the playoffs. So I knew nothing about playoffs for a long time, and I've gone through the rebuild, and he hopefully knows nothing about playoffs and everything. So we'll just put him back real quick, and then we'll jump right into the episode. Oh, poor guy. Oh, what a good guy. Anyways, so today we're going to do a review of the Red Wings. Just kind of get an update because there's a lot of things that have happened, and I have covered like hardly anything. So a lot of stuff has happened. I apologize. I'm looking back and make sure he's going to fall asleep. So anyways, there's a lot of things that have happened. Red Wings, before we were talking about this, Red Wings were first in the Atlantic for a while too, which is really impressive. And so one of the things I want to talk about with them is they are no longer, as of right now, currently first in the Atlantic. So they are currently tied, or they're in third. So we can pull this up. They're actually in third because they played one more game than the Canadiens. They have 52 points, similar to the Canadiens, but because the Canadiens played one less game, they have a higher points percentage and everything. So the Lightning are leading the Atlantic with 53 points in 41 games. Again, more points and in less games. So Red Wings actually in the Eastern Conference are actually tied for third in the Eastern Conference as well, which is crazy. They're tied for third, but they're third in their division. Just shows you how stacked the Atlantic division is. By the way, there's from the Maple Leafs, who are in 8th in the Atlantic division, they have 45 points, and the Lightning have 53. Like, it's an 8-point difference, which is crazy. It's a crazy amount of it's so compact and everything, especially when you compare out like the Western Conference and everything. Like, Avalanche have 69 points, Jets have 34 points. The Avalanche legitimately have twice as many points as the Jets, and we're only halfway through the season. So just give you an idea how close it can be, or how dominant also the Colorado Avalanche are. So with the Red Wings, so talking about them, they're doing pretty well overall. The last 2 games though was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The first game, honestly, not entirely impressed. They got fortunate in that sense. But to me, I wasn't sold on the game, let's say. And so with that, I was like, okay, they got the overtime win, whatever. I thought or overtime loss, so we got a point out of there. And then the last game, holy smokes. I was so disappointed. I was telling my wife, I was like, there's like eight shots in like halfway through the game. It was a piss poor performance. But, we kind of continue moving on. Again, these guys have gone on a long road trip. I think they had like a total of 5 games in 10 days with like practices or with travel and everything as well. So we have to consider that. And we look at some of the standout players right now. Of course, Lucas Raymond is leading them points with 44 points in 41 games. Over a point a game, that's phenomenal. Goals, DeBrincat's got 22, phenomenal. Actually, currently on a 40 goal pace, which is exactly what you want. Assists, Raymond 33. Edmonton, of course, is leading in penalty minutes with 50, and Seider has the best plus minus with 10. Plus minus is not the best, analytical stat, but when it starts to go away from 0, like pretty far out, it starts to become a concern. For example, Seider is plus 10. That's pretty good, right? He's doing well when he's on the ice. So people who are not doing good during 5-on-5 play, because plus minus is a 5-on-5 play, Axel Sandy Pellikka is minus 17. Casper is minus 15. Johansson is minus 14. Like, these are not good. Those are young players though, so you kind of give them a beat. But there's veterans like James Van Riemsdyk, which is minus 11, and Travis Hamonic, who are also minus 11. So, and Hamonic has only played 19 games. Like, he hasn't even played a full thing. And same with Van Riemsdyk. He's missed like I think 9 games. So, just consider that like, hey, this isn't, you got to consider taking some of the variables. And we're still seeing a lot of production out of the top 2 lines. Raymond DeBrincat-Larkin, of course, sitting at a good chunk of points. And then you have Seider, of course, coming in at 4th. You have Kane, Kopp, and Finney. So again, your top guys, and Evans as well. So you're literally your top 6 for forwards, and your top pair are the ones really producing on this team. Now, mind you, Axel Sandy Pellikka also has 15 points. Would you like to see as a defenseman? He's kind of getting hemmed in again 5-on-5, but again, he's smaller too, right? He's lost 15 points, so 4 goals, 11 assists in 43 games. Again, just under half, he's still under half point per game, but again, he's a rookie. The one thing right now I want to kind of focus on, which is a new bit of news, was that recently John Leonard, who has been phenomenal for the Wings, in 7 games, he has 4 points, 2-2. Again, he took over that spot for Patrick Kane for the time being, just because Kane was out for a couple of games. And so you had Leonard take over the spot. Again, is he going to replace Kane? No, but he did a good job of showing effort and everything, and kind of showed like, hey, this is like a guy that you is capable. Not capable, but he brings a little bit of energy, right? Hey, guys, no one's job is safe. And so with that, you get Kane back, you send Leonard down, because mind you, if he plays 10 games or he's up for 30 days in a row, he has to clear waivers again. So, and I think with the way that John Leonard has been playing, I mean, we can look at his AHL stats because John Leonard was killing it down there, which is why he got the call up, because he was doing so well. If we go to his hockey DB page, because that's what I'm trying to find out. Let's see, the Griffins, he had 32 points in 23 games. So he was a point and a half a game, basically. He had 20 goals in 23 games. That's phenomenal. He genuinely earned a spot to a call up and everything. He's played super well down there. They sent him down after 7 games. And this is my theory. And I don't hate this, by the way. And the one player I really didn't mention, who is struggling a bit, right? You're not seeing the production that you like to see from him, is Nate Danielson. He's played 28 games so far. He has 2 points and 5 assists in 7 games. So he's about a point every 4 games, and he's minus 7. He's only playing 11 minutes a night. And when you're seeing that from a guy you expect to be a good 2C or a really good 3C, it's going to be up between Casper and Danielson. My anticipation is that Danielson will actually be the 2C. He's got a little bit more defensive responsibility. And Casper plays that grit and grindy game. He's also defensively responsible as well, but less of a point getter, in my opinion. I think last year's the second half was the exception, not the rule. I think he played extremely well, was producing really well, but it is not his MO. So sorry, Deborah was talking now. And so with that, I think that this is the opportunity where they say Danielson's kind of gripping the stick a little bit, right? He's not showing what he can do. And so what you want to see from him is, I think what is going to end up happening, again, you don't want to lose John Leonard. That is the key thing, is that John Leonard, he's called up. By the way, they don't have to send anyone down right now. They have 23. It's a 23-man roster. So they have everyone. They have plenty of people on the they have space on the team to fit him in and everything. However, you're seeing that you want Nate Danielson to thrive. He's a first-round pick. You want him to be very good, and he's not bringing the same energy. And again, John Leonard can also play. He plays a hard game. He can also play in the bottom 6 as well. So what you want to do is you want to give this team a little spark. Nate Danielson, you can't expect a rookie to come in and change a locker room and start to decide, hey, like how this locker room is going to kind of work, right? Because he's a rookie. He's trying to blend in. He's trying to not rock the boat or anything. But John Leonard's 27 years old. He was drafted a while ago, back in 2018. He has 77 NHL games, right? He's played a ton in the AHL. Again, I really liked him on the San Jose Sharks. I liked him with the Barracuda. I thought he played really well. And so to me, I think you don't send John Leonard down. Like this is it. You leave once John Leonard plays his 10th game, which let's say he plays the next 3 games. Let Danielson sit up in the press box, let him relax, see the game from above, see how people are playing, see like kind of the cadence and everything. Maybe throw him in another game or two, and then you send him down. You don't want to be yo-yo. And I listened to another podcast, and he was absolutely correct that you don't want to yo-yo guys up and down, right? You want, especially with rookies, you want to get some consistency. I mean, these guys, on a personal level, these guys have families. They want that, John Leonard bought a apartment or a house in Grand Rapids, and so his family's probably there in Grand Rapids. Danielson probably has a spot in Detroit now, or maybe he has both. I don't know. But you say, hey, Danielson, you did a great job. It's a good start. Go back to Grand Rapids and light it up. Just go light it up, because to me, he's just not performing what we need to see from him, right? So if we go to Nate Danielson, see what he did last year in the AHL in 24-25, he had 39 points, 71 games. So over half a point per game production. So with that, you're like, okay, this guy can produce, he can do well. And so we want to continue to see that production from him. He actually had a better production than Marco Kasper, who had 35 points in 71 games. Nate Danielson had 39 points in 71 games. Again, we saw more from Marco Kasper as he continued to play. We're not seeing that from Nate Danielson, which is okay, but we do want to say, hey, listen, kid, we want you to work out. We want you to work out. We genuinely want you to be a good player. So, and again, by the way, they're the same age. They're both 21. So one was just drafted in, Marco Kasper was drafted in 22. Nate Danielson was drafted in 23. So this is okay. There's no issue. No one's going to lose their mind or anything. It's just that you have to consider, like, hey, these guys, the development just takes time. And that's okay. What you do is you send him down and you say, hey, go play top line center. Go light it up down there. Just score as much as you can. Get in there offensively. Really unlock that, because that's what we're going to want out of a 2C. We need, like, as a 2C, he needs to put up 60 points minimum, right? With Larkin, you're expecting about a point per game. With Danielson, you want to see at least 60, right? He's probably going to play on either the top power play unit or the second power play unit as he gets later on in his career. So with that, just continue to produce, like flood the net with goals, right? Just flood it. So that's my thought process on that. Again, you don't want to lose. Like if you waive John Leonard, he's going to get claimed. He has been performing so well. Someone's going to take a flyer on him. And I just think that makes so much sense, right? Like, of course, like he's been playing well. Again, I just think that this makes the most sense too. You don't want to lose a guy like John Leonard. He's got to be a good energy guy. When guys leave the locker room as well, like they get sent down, they get traded, it kind of can mess up the chemistry, mess up the locker room. And again, Detroit's doing well. We just talked about this. They're third in the Atlantic, but they're still contending for that top spot in the Eastern Conference. So, like, you don't want to screw this up. You don't want to, again, unless you're going to trade for someone like Jason Robertson or someone who's really going to change the DNA or change the vibe, an upgrade vibe. Like if you're trading a second round pick or higher, that will boost the locker room. If you're trading a guy out, Albert Johansson, for a third round pick, that kind of messes up the chemistry of the locker room. Or you lose John Leonard on waivers for no reason, right? They're like, oh man, we really like that guy. Like we liked him around and everything. So you have to be conscious of that with the locker room. So to me, again, you ride him a little bit. You ride both in the lineup, but then when John Leonard hits that 10th game, send Nate Danielson down and tell him to just go at it and get as many points as he can. So that's my take on that. So we're gonna take a quick break to talk about DraftKings and everything, and then we will jump right into it right after this. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus. Agent eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio limited time offer. And we are back. And so one of the things I want to talk about to kind of wrap up the episode, we're going to do a shorty today. We're not going to go 45 minutes to an hour because your boy can. He can. We're just not trying to do that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up. You can see if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to pull up Max Boltman talking about the power play. And this is, I thought was really interesting. Again, oh man, that does not look as good as I thought I was going to. Anyways, I like the shakeup. I think this is cool. Again, talking about like, you don't want guys to get stale. It's not stale, but it's more of like, you want like, hey, like there's more, you are more than just this. Like you're more than this, just this. So what they did is they said, okay, who's not firing all cylinders right now? Like Finney, Larkin, Raymond line is not doing good at 5-on-5. You need to shake them up. So now DeBrincat, Kopp, Kane, they are doing phenomenal. So do not break them up. So they leave DeBrincat, Kopp, and Kane as a line. They're playing very well. They're one of the biggest producers on this team. They take Larkin down. It's going to be 1C, but they moved him as like a 2C, quote unquote. I think it's just so that you don't have like your change up lines and everything. They bring Casper up to the top line, which we saw halfway through the last Pittsburgh game. You brought Casper up, try and give him a spark, right? Try and get something happening. And then you bring Soderblom up there on the right side. And so you're running a line of Larkin at center, Casper on the left, and Soderblom on the right. I'm like, cool. That is crazy. That is crazy because Larkin, again, he's producing like kind of where he's going to be at, right? He's producing okay, but you want to see more out of him because he has such a hot start. And Casper, who's having an abysmal, honestly, one of the worst sophomore seasons we've seen. He has 6 points in 42 games. I mean, Nate Danielson's producing better than that. And again, it's not a slight on Nate Danielson. It's just that Casper needs to pick this up, right? We saw him produce so well last year. We want to continue to see him produce well. I mean, last year he had 37 points in 77 games. That his current production, he would be at a third of what he's doing from last year. So you're doing that to spark Casper. You're doing that to spark maybe some Soderblom as well. And then you on the third line, you have Comfort, and you actually drop Raymond down to the third line with JVR. Now, again, this is like you're looking at some of the guys and what they're. I think you look at some of the skill sets, right? Larkin, good pass, can shoot and score. Soderblom can shoot. He's got great hands. Play with them. He's got a big body. Casper's going to run into everybody and start crap, right? He's going to be kind of your grinder. So you have Soderblom who can finesse, Larkin who can shoot, Casper who can get in the dirty areas. Good, that works out. Comfort can pass, Raymond can shoot, JVR can get in the dirty areas or be in front, and then Comfort can go down. Raymond's going to pass and assist and everything. So get Comfort and JVR can shoot as well, by the way. JVR is a monster in front of the net. So even putting pucks on net, he's going to clean up the garbage there. So cool line, which is crazy. You're playing Raymond on the third line, though. He's definitely going to, but I think he's also nursing an injury. There's some talk about him being his shoulder or something like that. Like it could be a confidence issue. It's just, you want to give him the best opportunity to thrive. So break it up a little bit. No big deal. Finney, again, we talked about this before with Nate Danielson. He's a rookie. He's not going to come in and change the DNA of the locker room, but he does need to continue to produce. If you look at what he's doing now, on there, he's at 19 points in 43 games. That's not too bad. He's under a half point per game, but you are a first line player right now. You need to continue to produce. So with that, you have Finney, Rasmussen, and Appleton, and you have Danielson as a scratch. Again, that's going to be a hell of a fourth line because you have Finney who can shoot and score. Rasmussen and Appleton are more grinders. So we'll see how that goes. And it kind of gives Finney a rest to maybe play a little bit less minutes as well. Again, these are all subject to change, right? It's okay. You can kind of move things around. I like this. So And then, of course, the defense players still Edmonton Sider, Sherrod, ASP, Johansson, JBD. And by the way, I do like that they're going with JBD this time because Hamonic is just, in my opinion, not it. I think Jacob Bernard-Dockard, like you know what Hamonic has. Jacob Bernard-Dockard, who was not qualified by Buffalo or Ottawa. They didn't want neither of them. He moved out from Ottawa to Buffalo. Buffalo did not qualify him. So Red Wings signed him. He can do stuff. He can absolutely, like, if you look at his production, if we look at, let's go to his DD page, Jacob Bernard-Dockard, he's not producing. He's got 1 point in 27 games. He's not producing very well. But if you go back to kind of where he was at NODAC, which is University of North Dakota, he produced okay. In 1920, he had 25 points in 32 games. So he was, 3 points every 4 games. So again, he can produce well. He had over half point in this last year. Again, he can produce. And this is a guy who's only 25 years old. Maybe he's hit his ceiling, but he's 6'1", he's 195 pounds. Like, he can do stuff. Like, he's a young guy. Again, maybe he's just 6 as a third line guy, but until the Red Wings bring up one of their prospects, who's a third line guy who can take it over, and maybe they will. You just don't know. Again, we're kind of waiting on guys to really, there's some guys that are going to need to come up next year. When it comes to the AHL, if we're looking at the defense, I'm going down there right now. On the defense, you have guys like Emil Vero, he's gone already. But you have guys like William Wallinder. He shoots left, though. So he's going to need a new contract, right? You have Antti Tuomisto. He shoots right. But is he producing well enough that it justifies bringing him up and being – he's at 17 points in 30 games. You're like, okay, is that a good enough third pair defenseman? Like, is it worthy? Like, do you want to requalify him? Would you rather have Jay Bernard-Dockard? Like, maybe you have him. Mind you, Antti Tuomisto is 6'5". He's huge. Great third pair defenseman. I'd like to see Red Wings not lose him for nothing. So maybe again, this is just options you have and everything too. So again, those are two guys that they'll have graduated. Antti Tuomisto is 24 years old. William Linder is 23 years old. You're like, okay, maybe you keep Johansson because you got him for next year. And on the left side, you bring in William Linder, and on the right side, you bring in Antti Tuomisto. Okay, cool. Like, you have guys right now. You have guys then, and so you're good. You're covered. Okay, or if you don't qualify him, you don't qualify him. Again, I don't like both these guys are second-round picks, former second-round picks. William Linder was in 2020. Antti Tuomisto was 2019. Again, you don't like to let him walk away for nothing, but it is what it is. So this is really cool. It's really exciting. I also want to talk real quick about the power play lines. You actually move Kane down. So right now they're, instead of having Raymond on the Larkin in net front, they put JVR in net front and the Larkin in the slot. You have to bring him on the left, Raymond on the right, Sider at the point, and then you move Kane onto the second power play unit, which I think is okay because, again, he just came back from injury recently. He's a little slower too, and I think with running Finney there, you have Finney, Casper, ASP. They're going to learn, and with Kopp as well, they're going to learn so much from Kane. They still look up to him. Casper, we saw Casper talking to Kane on the bench. You see Finney talking to him. Like, you want these veteran leadership, especially a guy like Kane, like, genuinely, I would say I think he's better than Mike McDonald because Mike McDonald played against less good talent back in the day. He's playing against harder talent because as leagues go on, talent gets harder and harder because the talent gets better and better. So, in my opinion, you are just going like have him play with these young kids, have him feed. You're like, and maybe he'll get Casper going. Maybe he'll get ASP or Casper going. Maybe he'll get Finney going. Like, this is what you want to see. You want to see guys like Kane utilize his strength. He's going to play against lesser competition as well. And maybe he'll just score. He'll just score because lesser competition. It is the NHL, right? It is the NHL. But these are options you have. And so that's what I'm going to think about. Also, a side note, my wife got me the Larkin Centennial jersey. I'm currently wearing it. And then my in-laws got me a new Red Wings hat as well. So we're just looking with drip today. It's very exciting. So I'm hearing the little guy stew a little bit. And again, I just want to jump back on. I just miss talking about podcasts and stuff like that and miss talking Red Wings. Thanks for welcoming me. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. Hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Peace.